Hey everybody! Hopefully I am in the right page. So if anybody happens to hop on, please let me know. I know I'm just a couple seconds early. I wanted to make sure my Wi-Fi was going to cooperate with me tonight. So as we are getting started, if anybody gets a chance to hop on, say hey. If you happen to be catching the replay later on, make sure you comment below #replay so I know you guys saw it. And yeah, we will get started in just a couple seconds here. I will not wait too long. Hi, Wendy Butler. How are you? It's nice to meet you. Wendy, am I on the Smitten by Scents page? If you could just let me know that or give me a thumbs up and just make the right spot. That's a huge fear of mine. Every time I go live, I always think, oh yeah, I'm on the right spot. And then, hey, Chrissy, am I on the right spot? Right? Becky? Okay, good. There's a couple people hopping on. I'm seeing messages. Sorry, I have some squirrel moments. Hi, Miss Sarah Smitley. How are you guys? Yay. Okay, I'm in the right spot. Okay, well, I want to say thank you, first of all. Well, maybe I should even stop before that and just say, do not mind the hot mess express behind me here, my friends, because I'm literally in my closet in my bedroom right now. My kids don't have school tomorrow for Veterans Day, and so they're downstairs acting a fool, and it's crazy and chaotic, so I'm literally hiding in my closet right now. So anyway, that's this mess going on behind here. If I kind of like position myself, I can kind of hide part of it, right? This is all good. So anyway, I'm so excited. Okay, good, Sarah. I'm so excited to talk to you guys tonight about something that I really love to do. And it's something that's kind of new to me. It's something I started kind of in the spring and then really started honing in on it a little bit more over the summer months. And so it's been something that's been really fun, pretty effective for me as well. But I will tell you, this is not something that's going to be like only one focus in your business, right? This is just kind of another tool to add to your toolbox that if you're having a down month or just need a little boost or something like that, this is a really great thing to kind of fall back on and have a lot of fun with. That's the key part of this. For me, if you guys know me, I love a good theme. Hi, Miss Felicia, my friend. So I love a good theme with everything. I used to do family movie nights with my family. I'm a huge Disney fan. So this is something that just really took off and it just really felt comfortable and natural to me. So I want to kind of share with you my process of how I do a themed Facebook party from start to finish, and then I'll share some examples of some of the themes that I've already done, and I can even do some little screenshots and show some of those in the comments after I'm done talking to you tonight. And if you guys have questions later on, of course, you can feel free to ask me. I will share anything that I have with you guys. And then at the very end, I actually have a little whiteboard behind me. It's sort of like my brainstorm board. So I'm old school like that. I like using like dry erase markers and stuff. So I threw out a couple of ideas literally like within the last half hour. I was just brainstorming ideas and I thought I can show you guys that and kind of walk through the process together maybe of creating something that we could use as a Facebook theme party. So that'll be kind of at the end. But a step back. Before I go through the process, I kind of want to tell you how I got to this idea and sort of how it came about, because I feel like that's sort of an important part of how it came about for me. So I figure I better introduce myself for those who I'm familiar faces in here, but I also see some friends that are brand new for me. So my name is Lisa Logan, and I am a Scentsy director from Central Pennsylvania. I joined January 1st, 2017, so I'll be coming up on 3 years here this coming January 1st. I kind of had a fast start, I guess you could say, in Scentsy. When I first joined, sales kind of just, I wouldn't say they came easy to me. They just were there. I had a lot of people that were really supportive of me, and I did a lot of parties at the beginning, and I just kind of thought that's what I was going to do. I never really thought about having a team or anything like that. I will say for me personally, recruiting side of things or the sponsoring side of things has been something that has not been easy for me. It's been sort of a struggle for me to learn and grow and figure out how to do all of that. And so the sales part was easy for me at the beginning. Now, I will tell you, it was easy for me at the beginning until it wasn't, right? People bought and they hosted parties, and then they came back and bought some more until they didn't. So as with anything, and you guys probably all know this yourselves, and if you have not experienced this, I hate to tell you or be the bearer of bad news, but you probably will experience this, right? We have really great peaks in our business, but we also have valleys in our business, right? We have ups and downs, and this is all part of the business. We have those dips. And so when you find yourself in one of those dips in your business, you're kind of like, well, I'm not really sure how I got there, but I don't know how to get out of it. That's kind of where I was, at least. So when I took a step back and I was like, okay, well, why do my sales stop? What am I doing differently? Or where are my people? Where are my customers at? I had to really sort of soul search a little bit and figure out where the sales had gone. Part of it was people had joined my team. And I feel like as a new consultant especially, that was really hard for me to grasp, right? Everyone tells me, you have to build a team for long term. And I kind of understood that. And I understood that that was part of the process. But it was really hard in the short term when I needed a paycheck. It was hard to give up that PRV and really see that long term, right? So I was giving up that PRV. My PRV was going a little bit lower and I was like, okay, now what do I do? So I started doing other things, right? Because we talk about being authentic. We talk about all these different trainings. I love to learn from other people. And so I started doing things like mystery host parties, right? How many here do mystery host parties? If you can kind of wave your hand or just let me know if you do mystery host parties. I started doing some of those and they were pretty successful. They did okay. I started doing scent boxes or like a monthly subscription box. I started doing events, which I figured out very quickly. I am not an event person. So that was not my thing. But then I started doing things like 10-bar deals and personal specials. What I found from the 10-bar deals, however, I use those very sparingly now because what I found was that if I started doing them too often, my customers started to expect that, right? So they were not ordering all the time because they were waiting for me to do the next big deal. And I felt like, I love our products. I love Scentsy products. I feel like they are a great value for how great our products really are. And so I didn't want to constantly be doing deal after deal after deal and having people sit back on their orders and wait for those deals to come. Oh, sorry guys, I'm getting notifications. My son is a volunteer firefighter and I'm getting notifications. The siren just went off. So we're going to pray that that's okay. So anyway, that's where I started kind of spinning my wheels a little bit, right? You don't do mystery parties, but I really need to start. Right. So Sarah, here's the thing with the mystery parties. And this is where it's coming all full circle, I promise. The mystery host party, I was like, this is kind of a fun thing. And at first, my customers were really excited about it. So if you guys aren't familiar with mystery parties and what you do for those, essentially is you do a Facebook party for your guests. Now, me personally, I typically open those up to a VIP group. I keep a VIP group on my Facebook where it is a private group that I invite anybody who's ever bought, hosted from me, anybody who really wants to join my VIP group can be in there. And I typically do a mystery host party in that group for them. So I kind of keep it sort of like a red carpet thing, right? I do a little special thing for them. So essentially, mystery host party, you run a Facebook party. Anybody that orders goes into a drawing at the end. And you, as the consultant, give away the hostess rewards at the end. So that's where the sort of bonus is for your guests, right? So people liked it at first. And then after a while, I was noticing, I did a couple of them and they were kind of like, mystery host party, it's okay, it's cool, we've been there, done that before. So I kind of had gotten away from it, right? Then this past spring, I was doing a Facebook party. I have kind of started my business and really maintained my business based on Facebook parties because I live in a super rural area of Pennsylvania, like one traffic light in our town kind of area, more cows than people kind of thing. So we typically don't do a lot of home parties because we have to travel so far to get to each other, especially if it's bad weather, things like that. So home parties are few and far between. They're nice, but not happening very often. Bag parties, pouch parties, that sort of thing are okay. But typically most of my business is built on Facebook parties. So I was doing a Facebook party for a good friend of mine. She lives a few towns over. It's about an hour away. And I really knew this girl. She was a babysitter for me when she was in school. And I knew that we had a lot of things in common. We share a love for Disney. And the cool thing was right before her Facebook party started, she announced that she and her husband were pregnant with their first baby. So I was like, well, this could be a lot of fun. So I created her Facebook cover photo, right, in her party to start. I always try and personalize my Facebook cover photos. So I put her picture on there and I said, hey, what's on your wish list, right? So she gave me a couple of ideas of things she was looking at for a wish list, and I put some of those pictures on her cover photo. And then I started thinking, well, she's going to have a baby. So maybe she would like a little Mickey Mouse buddy, or maybe she would like a buddy clip or a sidekick or something. So I kind of picked out a couple of things that were baby items. And I decided to call her party Marissa's Oh Baby. What did I call it? Marissa's Oh Baby Party, or no, something like that. It had Oh Baby in it somehow. I can't even remember. And the theme of her party was baby items. We really sort of focused on baby items, and we focused on Disney because I know her whole family loves Disney and I share that with her. So we focused a lot on Disney and baby items. And so we did things like we had a Team Blue post where I just put a whole bunch of different products that were blue in Scentsy, and we just kind of talked about those. We had a Team Pink post, and we talked about all sorts of things, and do you think Marissa's going to have a girl? And so we posted all these different things, and I just put a whole bunch of pictures of pink items of Scentsy, and it kind of started my thinking, and I was like, this was like a lot of fun to do this theme party. So afterwards, I got a lot of good feedback from guests, and then I was kind of like, I love the idea, but I sort of tabled it a little bit, right? Because I thought, well, sometimes when I do a Facebook party, I don't know the host super, super well. Like I knew Marissa. I knew what she liked. I knew the things that I could talk about and tie it in with her. But I don't always know my Facebook hosts as well as that to be able to do something like this. So I sort of tabled it for a couple of months. And then over the summer, so this all started in July, this past summer. So in July, I was like, oh, I'm having a down month, right? July is a hard month for Scentsy consultants, I feel like sometimes. And so when I started thinking about how I was going to get PRV for that month, I didn't have a whole lot of parties. And I thought, okay, time to do a mystery host party. I haven't done one for a while, but I thought, you know what? This thing was sort of sticking in the back of my mind about this theme party I had just done. And I was so excited about it. So I came up with the idea of a pirate party. Now, I will tell you, this idea actually it was two things coming together. It was a Facebook party that I had done for Marissa. Oh, my dog Ollie might make an appearance here too. It came from Marissa's party, but then I also saw this flyer that I had no idea who made. It was one of those, it was shared in like a consultant group, and it was a little treasure map, and it had Scentsy items kind of going around it. It was super cool, and I thought, well, that sounds like a really fun idea. And here's the thing with me with themes, right? I feel like if you feel like you are being absolutely 100% ridiculously over the top when you are doing a themed party, then I promise you, you are doing just the right amount. I promise you, you're going to feel ridiculous doing this, but I'm just telling you right now, go for it. Go big or go home. I'm telling you, I promise it is going to work out for you. Don't feel awful and crazy and all of the things because it's totally fun. So here is what I did with sort of idea that came together. So I thought, I'm going to do a pirate themed party. It's going to be a Facebook party. So I did everything online. So what I did was I created an event through my VIP group and invited all of my VIP group members. So I went on my favorite app that I use for flyers is Over. I do use the paid version of Over, and you don't have to use Over. It's just my personal preference. It's the one I like the most. You can use Canva. You can use, what else? Photify. All of the free ones are totally fine. But what I did was I created a treasure map. So this is my treasure map, if you guys can see that. Sorry, I don't know how well you can see it. I have all the comments there. So this is what it looks like. I just printed it out off of what I created. So essentially, this is where we were starting on our pirate journey. And as you can see, we're following the path all the way to the treasure chest at the very end. So essentially what we are doing is I was posting in our Facebook group twice a day. So I picked items and this is the key part of this. As you're doing this, you want to pick items that add up. If you sell each one of these items, that are going to add up to a qualifying party, because the qualifying party is how you're going to give your guests your host rewards, right? So what you want to do is make sure that as you're doing this, sometimes you may have an item that's a little cheaper, like a scent circle. So on that day, maybe you make it a goal to sell 3 scent circles or a 6-pack of scent circles or sort of like that. So I feel like this is probably the most difficult part of the entire party, is just sort of kind of figuring out how to set it up first. Once you have that part down, I promise you the rest of it is so much fun and so much easier than kind of this legwork part. And once you have a couple of ideas of this and have a template sort of for yourself, it goes much faster after that. So this was what I did. And listen, this is where I get ridiculous. I talked like a pirate the entire time in my posts, right? So I called myself the pirate captain. They were my pirate crew. Anyone who wanted to set sail with me had to RSVP to join our pirate crew, right? So as we talked about it, I actually Googled how to talk like a pirate. I promise. So I used words like landlubber and avasti mateys and anything that I could do to sound like a pirate. That's how I wrote my posts. So I have one here that I pulled up for you guys. So as you can see, as we were traveling, day one, we talked about soaks, and then we were scent circles. What else do I got here? Body wash. What was that? Dish soap. And then we got to bathroom cleaner, right? So here was just an example of my bathroom cleaner post. Let me pull this up here. Okay, so for my bathroom cleaner post, this was my text that I had on here. Let's face it, mateys, a pirate ship's bathroom is not exactly a lesson in cleanliness. Brings all new meaning to scrubbing the poop deck, doesn't it? Landlubbers and pirates alike will love this Scentsy bathroom cleaner. My favorite part? This cleaner sprays in a foam, so you have some time to do some pillaging and plundering, or have a swig of rum, before you go back to scrubbing the deck. To continue on our journey for the pirate treasure, our goal is to sell at least one of these bathroom cleaners to a member of our pirate crew. Just comment below with the fragrance of your choice and your pirate captain will be in touch. So essentially, each day I talked a little bit about whatever item we were on for that day. And to claim their item, they would just comment below and let me know what they wanted to claim. And so I kept track of everything. Now for my parties, what I do to keep it easy for everybody is I hold all invoices until the very end of the party, and then they have 24 hours after the party closes to pay their invoices. And I let them know that up front, just because I don't want somebody ordering one day, getting an invoice, and then ordering another thing another day and getting in a second invoice. I just try and group everything together for them at the very end. So each day, what I would do too, since I created this in Over, what I would do is if somebody would buy on, say, day one, when we would go to post day two, in the comments, if we sold this item or met our goal, I actually put like a skull and crossbones little emoji over top of that. And so I posted like sort of our updates so they could see things being sold as we went through our party. Does that make sense to everybody? So that way they could kind of see where we were at. And then the very last day, once we got to the treasure chest at the end, my daughter and I we dressed up like pirates. I wish I could, I didn't save the video's in my event. I don't know how to pull it over to show you guys. Completely ridiculous. We dressed up like pirates. We tried to speak like pirates. Somehow our pirate accents ended up sounding like Irish leprechauns. I don't know, but it was funny. And everybody was kind of laughing with us in the group. And we really just had a fabulous time. So that was sort of my first leap into Facebook themed parties. And I kind of, once I did it, I was like, man, why have I not done this before? Because this is authentic to me. This having a theme and having just sort of something to run with it and have fun with it, that is me. That's what's authentic. Not just writing my own posts or doing things like that. This is what I love to do. And so I think that joy in me and that sort of creativity in me really came out in the party. And I feel like that's why people connected with it so much. And I didn't call it a mystery host party. The entire time, it was our pirate treasure hunt. So even though it was a mystery host party, and I think my guests knew essentially it was a mystery host party, I never used those words. And so I had people buying stuff that don't typically even buy, but just because they were caught up in the excitement of the pirate treasure hunt, that's what made the whole entire thing fun and worth it for me. So I will say the pirate treasure hunt, when I did that one, I'd have to go back. I should have probably gone back and looked. I want to say that one ended up around 400 PRV. But I will tell you, I feel like I got other orders from that because I had people order for the first time from this event just because they were kind of having fun and caught up in the excitement of it. And so they came back and then ordered elsewhere. I also booked 2 parties just by doing this because at the end of it, I asked for members of the pirate crew to step up and host their own, or how did I say, to set sail on their own ship to search for treasure. I don't know, something silly like that I kind of said. And then I took them and then we did not really pirate posts or pirate parties, but we just kind of did some Facebook parties from there. So I have some notes here. I just want to make sure I'm kind of going through everything. Okay, so I think for the main thing that I wanted to share with you guys for this is I think the thing that makes it most successful if you are going to do a theme with this was a second theme that I did. I just finished this one right around Halloween. So I printed this flyer out that I made as well. This one was our spooky house party. So our spooky house party was very similar to our pirate party. I kind of did the same idea as far as starting out here. I put enter if you dare. I was called, I called myself the Ghoul Guide, and they were my Ghoul Squad. So that's how I did it for this one. So we entered if we dare, and we kind of went through. This time I threw in some little surprises. I had some little pumpkins here that they could order. A trick-or-treat pumpkin, a spooky surprise, and a hey there pumpkin. So the hey there pumpkin was just all pumpkin. It was like a pumpkin-scented bundle, or they could pick Team Apple bundle. The spooky surprise was a mystery pumpkin. I actually just got cheap dollar store pumpkins, and I filled in. They could pick whatever price point they wanted, and then I just filled items in with that, and they got a little spooky surprise. And then the trick-or-treat, the trick-or-treat was little wax mixer bundles. So I did like a couple of little bars together. That's how I did the trick-or-treat. Essentially ran this the exact same way, just a different theme with this. I feel like you could take this though and do something else, but I feel like whatever theme you pick, and I feel like this is probably one of the most important things you have to try and remember, you need something, a common thread that is going to pull across every single post, right? So for my pirate party, the thing that sort of pulled across every single post, the common thread or the common theme, was talking like a pirate. So every day they would tune in to see what ridiculous language I was going to use for that day or talk about that day. And I was called the pirate captain, and they were my pirate crew. So there was something that kind of pulled across everything. For my spooky house party, we kept talking about spooky things. So this was like a scary walk through the park to get to the old abandoned mansion. That was sort of our goal for this, right? To see what secrets lie behind the doors of the old abandoned mansion. That's what the theme was. So as we were going through, it was always talking about like, what's up ahead in the mist, and we hear a noise in the dark. What could be lurking there? Like, it was kind of sort of pulling things out like that, and it was spooky and scary and sort of setting a theme. So I feel like trying to set that for your customers is going to be a huge part in how successful this is. And then at the very end of every single post that I had in the spooky house party is I gave just a little fun fact about Halloween. So all I did was a simple Google search before we started. And I typically create templates for these, so that way I can go back to them and use them. I use Trello. If anybody is familiar, if you guys like Trello, let me know. Oh shoot, I swiped out the comments. Sorry guys. Sorry if anyone's been asking me questions. I forgot I swiped out comments. So yeah, if you guys use Trello at all, I kind of save these templates over to Trello. That way I can go back to them maybe say next year, and I can reuse the same theme or just tweak it or change it out if we have new products, and you can update your boards and then just reuse this again. So my common theme was just fun Halloween facts, and they weren't necessarily scary, but they knew every single post at the bottom of it, there was this little thing, they were learning something fun about Halloween. And I typically try and ask a question at the bottom of it, like a fun fact on how much Halloween candy was sold for this year or something like that. And then I would say, what was your favorite Halloween candy? So I would always sort of post something so they would interact in the post below, and that's how I would sort of tie everything together. So all of that being said, that's kind of the way that my brain works. Not always easy to follow probably, but that's how, just making sure I hit everything on my notes. That's how I sort of set up my parties. Now, I want to kind of open it up to questions a little bit, because I don't know if this is a new concept. I sort of presented on this if anybody happened to be at SFR this year in Austin. This was what I presented on in the expo hall. So it was something that I was kind of starting to work on there. I typically, the parties that I've done have used this sort of format where guests can kind of see, and now they are starting to know, like, oh, I know on day 4, she's going to try and sell a buddy clip. Like, they're starting to kind of catch on to that, but it's so much fun for them. They don't really think twice about it. But what you could do if you wanted the element of surprise, like you could do a Christmas advent calendar and do maybe a collage, like on Pick Collage, and you could pick all of your items, make sure they're going to total up to $200. I always go a little over that though, just to kind of give yourself a little wiggle room, because I do have times where something doesn't sell on a particular day. But then on the other side of that, I have other days that will sell multiple items. And so it sort of balances itself out. But I always give myself a little bit of extra just to kind of keep some wiggle room there. But what you could do is cover up all of the items. And so each day of the event, when you do your post, you unlock a new thing that you can talk about. So you can do it that way if you want to keep it an element of surprise. So I wanted to kind of just open things to questions. Do you have the map? Yes. So Sarah, yep, that's exactly. So they see this in the event when they first start. So this is what I've done in the past. But I also have sort of thought about doing that element of surprise as well. It's all good. It's all good. So yeah, you could do it this way, or you could do it the opposite way and just kind of release each thing each day. I think that could be super fun as well. It just sort of depends on the theme that you're going for, or the vibe that you're going for a little bit. Yeah. So, okay, if you guys have any more questions, let me know. I'm going to show you. This is crazy. And one of the girls on my team always makes fun of me for my whiteboard, but this is my brainstorm whiteboard. It's really tall. I can't see over it. So this is what it looks like. So I was downstairs as I was kind of thinking through in my mind what I wanted to talk to you guys about. And I was just kind of brainstorming some themes that you guys could use for right now, just based on the season that we're in with the holidays coming up, right? So these were just some of my ideas. I'm going to throw them out there. I don't have specifics on all of the things. Advent calendar, it could be super fun, right, Sarah? And you could do so much, I feel like, with the Advent calendar. So you could do something like a 12 days of Christmas. So you could do something with that. You could do an Advent calendar. I typically have I like my parties to run about 7 days from start to finish. So I typically have about 14 items that I sort of focus on throughout the party, and I do 2 posts a day. But you could do more or less. So you could do a 12 days of Christmas and pick 12 items. You could do, you could say 15 under 15, and you could focus on 15 items all under $15, or stocking stuffers. You could do a theme for that. For the Advent calendar, something that you could tie in each day. On the bottom, you could just do a fun fact about what Santa Claus's personality, or what Santa Claus is called in all different countries. And so every day you can talk about what the traditions are on Santa Claus from a specific country. You could share a Bible verse and do like an Advent calendar and focus more on the faith-based part of things for Christmas. You could really kind of run a whole bunch of different directions with that. And what I try and do is I pick items. Not only do you try and pick items that are going to add up to $200, but you want to try items that are, you can tie in somehow with what you're posting or how you're doing the theme that day. So a couple of ideas for you. I'm just going to throw out, and listen, if you guys have an idea or a theme that you're thinking of, throw it out here, because we'll try and I'll just sort of try and off the cuff. That could be dangerous. I'll try and throw out some ideas or themes based on that. I don't know if I have a catalog up here. Yeah, I do. I have a catalog up here too. So we can kind of usually what I'll do is come up with the theme idea. Oh Lord, my desk drawer's stuck. See, I'm telling you, hot mess express today. Okay, so usually what I'll try and do is come up with my theme idea, and then I will just sort of look through the catalog and get inspiration for items to pick for it, right? Okay, so you could do Christmas gifts, 12 days of Christmas. You could base it off of a movie. So you could pick a Christmas movie that you love. Like, for example, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So you could pick and do a National Lampoon or a Griswold Family Christmas. You could do something like that and do an event based on that theme. You could do the movie Elf. I feel like the Grinch would be a really good one to do. In fact, I took the Grinch one. So here was the Grinch. And I drew an arrow over because I was like, oh, I love this idea. Grinch is one of my favorite movies. So I'm going to share a whole bunch of ideas that you could tie in with the Grinch. The Advent calendar was on my list here. Kind of going a little bit away from Christmas, but my personal love, and pick something that you love. That's really important to you guys. Pick something that is really authentic to you and something that you are passionate about, or you have some sort of connection with. Like Sarah, I know you love to travel. My gosh, how cool would it be to somehow talk about all the travels and the places that you've been, or the different countries, and tie in some sort of international thing with items. That would be super cool. So you could do, I love Disney. I'm a Disney girl through and through. So I could do a Disney trip or a day at Disney World and pick items. I could pick something like churro, because I love getting churros in Magic Kingdom. I know we don't have it right now, but pineapple pucker smells just like Dole Whips that I love to eat in. Well, it's all food stuff so far, but you could do Mickey or Minnie, or focus on something like that. Or I don't know, something like a Scentsy Go because you walk so much in the parks. Like you kind of sometimes have to reach a little bit for things, or like think outside the box a little bit, but then tie them all together. And if you have that common theme, and for me, I've been to Disney World 10 times because I'm obsessed slightly. So I could do a little Disney tip. So if somebody's planning a Disney trip coming up, I could do a little tip for something in the park, or a little known fact, or where to find a hidden Mickey. So I could kind of do something every day that's just posted on the bottom. It doesn't have to be Scentsy related, but if you pull that common thread the whole way through, that's what's going to stick with people and keep them coming back because they want to see what that next day is going to bring for you. Cool? Okay. I get excited. Can you tell? I get really excited about this. All right. So you could kind of go totally different because this is such a hustle and bustle kind of time. You could focus on like a self-care or relaxation kind of thing and focus on like bath bombs, or you could do like Scentsy soaks for something like that, or maybe Just Breathe, like the scent of Just Breathe, and list all the items that are in Just Breathe, or do some sort of bundle like that. Speaking of bundles, you could do Christmas gift idea bundles, and you could do your own little bundles put together, take a picture of them, and that's what you could put on something like this. So it wouldn't just have to be a Scentsy product. It would be sort of a personal special for you. Make sure you're following compliance rules, of course. I need to say that. But you could do your special bundles and put that on there and try and sell a bundle each day. So you could kind of like really think outside the box here. You could do something like a baby shower or a wedding shower. A winter wonderland party would be kind of fun, and you could focus on all the items that are like blue or sort of cold smelling, like your peppermints, or what is it, Snow Over It, or Olaf's Warm Hugs, or Olaf himself. So you could kind of go that direction. Here was one that I thought I could really run with. This one, holiday baking theme. And this was something that I get inspiration everywhere and my brain doesn't shut off. So when you pair those two together, it can get dangerous sometimes. My daughter and I were shopping at Kohl's the other night, and we saw this calendar, and it's like a daily, like the tear off calendar for a day. And it has Tasty. It was from Tasty. Do you guys watch those videos? My daughter is obsessed with watching them on Facebook all the time. So it's a calendar, a tear off calendar, and it has a QR code on every page, and she can scan it, and it's a new Tasty video with a recipe every day. How cool would that be to do as a Facebook themed party with Scentsy? So you could do like baking bundles, but you could also tie in things like dish soap and hand soap because you have to wash your hands before you bake. You could tie in things like counter clean to clean up your mess after you're finished. So you could really tie in other products with it, but then focus on things like sugar cookie scent, or stroopwafel delight, or brownie batter, or kind of all of our bakery scents. But you could do a QR code. How cool would this be? You could make up a flyer of yourself or like an emoji or something with a QR code and share a recipe, Tasty or whoever, if they scan that QR code every single day. Then you can take that to further your business. See, this is how my mind goes. You can take that to further your business because you are teaching your customers to scan QR codes whenever they see them. If they come to that party every day and for 14 times they are scanning a QR code, right? The next time you are giving them a wax sample or giving them a sample of Scentsy soak or something like that, put a QR code on the bottom of it. There's tons of videos on how to do that on YouTube if you're not familiar with it. If you use avery.com to print labels out, super easy to add a QR code. So when your customers see that, they're like, oh, hey, that's that QR code thing that we did in the party. They're going to scan it, and guess what? It's going to take them right to your party, or right to your website, your PWS, and they can order right off your PWS. Like, how cool is that? So you're kind of doing something fun in a Facebook party. You're pulling that theme across, but then you're teaching your customers something that you want to continue in the future, and you can reuse it in your business later on. This is how my mind goes. Sorry, guys. Just down a rabbit hole sometimes. But anyway, let's see. So movies you could kind of run with, right? Movies, family game nights, you could kind of pick your favorite games and then somehow tie in some Scentsy items to go with your favorite games. You could do fundraisers somehow with this and do like a pets fundraiser, like maybe for every item purchased, you donate a certain amount back, or for every item sold, you're going to donate a dog toy to an animal shelter or something similar to that. And you can feature like all of our pets products or our pet warmers or something like that through the party. Okay, so I'm going to go back to, since I don't see any themes down here yet. Okay. About the Grinch one, right? Here's how my mind works. And if you guys have ideas for the Grinch one, like, please post them below, because I'd love to kind of like think through this with somebody. And I feel like collaborating with others is when I start to like spark my mind a little bit more to come up with ideas. So if you're doing a Grinch theme, you could do like a common thread. Let's see, you could do a famous Grinch quote that he uses. You could do, let's see, you could do a flyer every day of a small little heart, right? Start out with like a teeny tiny little heart on just a flyer, like just a white flyer and a teeny tiny heart. And each day, each post you do as you sell stuff, the heart gets bigger and bigger and bigger, because you know how in the movie The Grinch, his heart grows, what is it, three sizes? I don't, whatever his heart grows. So each day you can visualize and see his heart growing each time as you sell things, right? So a couple of ideas that you can tie in. You can focus on room spray for one of your things, because, you know, as the song goes, it's stink, stank, stunk. So you can call it stink, stank, stunk spray.
Not to worry you, but I just lost my tooth.
Okay. My daughter just lost her tooth. She had to tell me that.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so you could do room spray and call it stink, stank, stunk spray, because it could just tie in with your theme. You could focus on the scent cranberry garland, because you could do all sorts of themes in the movie and scenes in the movie where they use cranberry garland or tinsel, or like in Whoville, how they make everything. So you could tie that in. You could tie in the angel wings warmer with the big heart in the middle, right? Because of the Grinch's heart growing 3 sizes. So you can kind of focus on that and say, like, how much is he going to grow? And then you can always say, like, this is the warmer we're going to focus on, but if you want another warmer, you can always swap it out with something else. So you can kind of make it a goal for that, right? You can focus on the scent sugar cookie, because how he steals the cookies and steals all of their food, and like, oh, I don't know how you could tie in who pudding, like the roast beast that they have. You could tie that in somehow. I don't know. You could focus on the colored light bulbs, especially the color green, obviously, because you could focus on the Grinch. You can focus on Scentsy Fresh for one of the days, because of how he lives in the garbage dump, right? So you can say, like, he can freshen up his cave, or his whatever you want to call it up there. He can freshen up with Scentsy Fresh. Of course, you can focus on the pet line and Best Bud Suds, because of Max, his dog. So, of course, Max is a little stinky from the onion peels and all the other stuff the Grinch throws on him. So you could focus on Best Bud Suds for Max. You could focus on, I feel like Huggin' a Mug could really easily tie in there, because Huggin' a Mug with Cindy giving the Grinch a hug, because that was like his big thing from the Whobilation. I haven't watched this movie since like last year. How do I remember all this stuff? I love this movie. I love the movie The Grinch. I need to watch it now. Let's see. Christmas Cottage. You could focus on the scent Christmas Cottage, or a specific item in Christmas Cottage to represent Whoville, and you could give like some fun facts or fun things about Whoville. And then Very Snowy Spruce was the last one I was thinking, or any of the pine scents for that matter, because of how, what does he do? Does he steal their tree or burn the tree? Whatever he does to the tree at the end. So I don't know. But those were just kind of like some fun ideas that I was throwing out there and just kind of brainstorming. And pretty much that's what I do. So I'll take a theme, and it's always a theme that I know that I can kind of run with. Like if it's a theme that sparks my imagination, I know it's going to be a good one, because if I'm having fun, my guests are going to have fun too as well, because they know I'm going to be just ridiculous and over the top with it. So I feel like as long as you go into it with the idea of really it's just for fun, I think it's going to be successful no matter what you do. No matter what theme you pick, as long as it's something that's authentic to you, I think that's what's important there. And I think that's, I don't know. It's just something that is different. And I feel like when you think of a themed party, and I talked about this at my expo booth in Austin this year. When you think about a themed party, and there's lots of great resources for those, by the way, in the training center on our workstation. But when they talk about themed parties, they're always talking about home parties, right? And home parties are great, don't get me wrong. I love me a good home party. But in my area, it's hard to find people to do a home party, because we are so scattered here. We're kind of in cow country. So it's so scattered here, it's hard to get people to have people over to their house, because people have to travel like closest Target is 35 minutes away. So you know what I mean? It's a little bit harder for us to get to places. And so I thought, why should they have all the fun at a home party? Right? You can take a theme and you can totally run with it. You just have to maybe be a little bit more creative, or just go about it a little more in a different manner if you want to do it on Facebook versus a home party. But it's absolutely 100% possible. And I promise you that I think if you try this, make sure you come back and let us know what theme you picked and how it went for you, because I think if you try this and just have fun with it and not take yourself too seriously, your guests are going to see that, and I think they're going to really respond to it. And I think it's going to be a success for you guys. I really do. I really do. So anyway, that is my whole spiel, I think. So I don't know who else is hanging on here. I think there's like 3 people left here hanging on here with me. How long have I been talking? 40 minutes or so-ish. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. I hope this helps, and I hope that you guys are excited about it. I know I am. I'm hoping to do an advent calendar one here to pull that together. Yeah. I gotta get my brain going on that one, because maybe I'll just do this Grinch one though, because my gears are spinning on the Grinch thing now. But I kind of want to do this because I do something fun before Christmas for my VIP group. So I need to get working on it, because I really want to do this now. The more I talk about it, the more excited I get. I can't believe you think all of these. Oh, you're welcome for sharing, Felicia. Of course, anytime. I can't believe you think all of these things. I know. If you only knew what's happening up here, it's crazy. Love the maps. Oh, you're so welcome. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for the nice comments. I really appreciate that. If you guys have any more like theme ideas, because sometimes like ideas will hit in strange times, right? Like they don't always hit me when I sit down to think about it. They hit me like when I'm driving somewhere or in the shower or sitting down to dinner or whatever. Like if you're like me, it'll just strike you at strange times. So come back here to this post and make sure that you're like commenting below if you have a theme idea and you'd like some like brainstorming. If you just post like, hey, I want to do one on this theme, and we'll try and like brainstorm with you a little bit and throw out some ideas for you and see if we can help kind of spark some ideas or imagination. Because I feel like if sometimes somebody will say something that I hadn't thought of that way, and as soon as they do, I'm like, oh, and then I'll just kind of go off on a tangent, and it really starts some new ideas that way too. So I love to help out with that kind of stuff. So yeah, if I can help out in any way, or if you guys have questions later on, please post them below, and I will certainly come back and make sure I come back and answer if I can. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And Sarah, thank you so much for allowing me to hang out here and talk to you guys about this tonight, because it's super fun and it means a lot to me to be able to do that, because I watch people all the time and learn from all of you. So it's really kind of an honor to be asked to do something like this to share with you guys, and I hope it helps somebody. So anyway, I hope you guys have a good rest of the night. I'm gonna go check out what my daughter's doing, who lost her tooth, and I think my son probably went out to the fire whistle that was called. So I'm gonna go see what chaos is downstairs waiting for me at the moment. But anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you soon. See you guys. Bye.